Keir Starmer now says he's the guy that's going to control our borders. The same Keir Starmer that decriminalised illegal immigration, has prioritised illegals over our own good people, has thrown them into hotels and generally prioritised them for housing as well, and wanted to make sure that anyone who spoke out against illegal immigration was called far right and put in prison. But now suddenly he's all for it. He also says that those arriving in our country should speak English. Maybe he could go to Birmingham or Bradford or Luton or Leicester or any other of his voting areas and say that, because none of them will understand a bloody word. Angela Rayner, her of the ginger growler, turned up at a function with King Charles dressed as an actual clown with actual Ronald McDonald shoes on. I don't know what it is with these Labour women, like the Democrats. They have to make themselves as ugly as possible, as if to excuse the fact that no man would ever want to go anywhere.
When Katie Hopkins grabs a mic and points it at Keir Starmer and Angela Rayner, it's basically a flamethrower aimed at a soggy papier Mick statue. Brutal honesty colliding with zero filter and a profound intolerance for nonsense. She doesn't just roast her targets, she serves them extra crispy, turning political theatre into pure spectacle. Popcorn-ready audiences watch as this takedown makes Parliament feel like a daycare squabble, delivering savagery in full HD.
Another Ukrainian bumboy arrested for firebombing Keir Starmer's home. These rent boys are going to appear at the Old Bailey on the 6th of June. They're expected to arrive in a rainbow-coloured police car, dressed in fetish gear and pup play, because that's how Keir likes it. And finally, Labour have cancelled their women's conference the day before their main conference because men who have their cocks tucked into women's panties aren't going to be allowed to attend. So Labour have cancelled their women's conference because men...
Keir Starmer and Angela Rayner walking into British politics is like watching two confused tourists try to navigate a roundabout. Except instead of a minor crash, the whole country veers into a wall of beige promises and budget slogans. Enter Katie Hopkins, flamethrower tongue in hand, zero chill, who sees this duo and says, absolutely not.
That are in class sizes that are over 30 now.
Angela Rayner, are we talking about 50 children, 5,000 children, 5 million children? I mean, how many are we talking about?
It's a significant number. It's not 500 or 5,000. It's significant.
You've said that 3 times. Do you not think it would be an idea to have a sense of how many children we're talking about? You are the Shadow Education Secretary.
Yeah, well, I do have a sense of that, but I don't have the figures.
Could you give me the number then, please?
No, not. I'm not just going to pluck a number out of thin air.
I'm not asking
but I
to
can
pluck
tell
a
you
number
that the
out
number
of
is
thin air,
significant.
Shadow. Shall I help you? I've got a number. Shall I give it to you?
Go on then, you give it me. Go on,
Right.
if you've got it, you give it me. And it is a substantial number.
Yes,
go for it.
Don't you think it's rather strange that it's left to the journalists, the media, to inform the Labour?
First up, Keir Starmer, the man who somehow makes a wet flannel look confrontational. His leadership hovers awkwardly between decisions like he's buffering in real time. 1 minute he will fight for the working class, the next he's speed-running policies that would make Margaret Thatcher rise from her grave for a polite golf clap. If spineless leadership were an Olympic sport, Keir would have been disqualified twice.
Nigel Farage has 5 MPs, you've got 403. Are you panicking because Reform is so far ahead in the polls, it seems? Is he living rent-free in your brain? You went to a state school, your dad worked in a factory, your mum worked in the NHS, so why has a public school-educated former city trader got more in common with the Red Wall than you have?
He's got Nigel Farage living rent-free in his head, and just in case he wasn't absolutely sure, he's being told how unpopular he is.
The speed of the decline in your popularity is historically unprecedented. Isn't this speech today an admission that you have failed and Nigel Farage understands voters better than you?
And now people are just pointing out to him that he's not actually delivered on anything that he said he would when he...
And Angela Rayner, bless her energy, is like someone tried to turn working class vibes into a personality and forgot the substance. Her idea of powerful rhetoric is yelling generic slogans like she's auditioning for a socialist-themed reboot of The Apprentice. Together with Keir Starmer, they're a political buddy movie where both leads forget their lines and blame the sound guy. Katie Hopkins saw this mess and didn't bother with tea. She poured gasoline and lit the match.
Of this is that it will blow apart the whole rotten structure that I've been talking about. This is not government of the people, by the people, for the people. Starmer represents government of the blob, by the blob, for the blob. And when it fails, it will be the blob that failed, not Britain.
It has been 3 years since the start of the war in Ukraine. Is Donald Trump appeasing Vladimir Putin?
Yes, in the conventional sense of the term, of course he is. But that's a term, actually, Stephen, which belongs to the old world.
Katie Hopkins started with Keir Starmer's magical disappearing backbone. This man changes his stance more than a weather vane in a hurricane. Free speech only if it doesn't offend a Guardian columnist. Immigration? He'd rather hug a fence than take a stand. Law and order? His idea of cracking down on crime is tweeting sad emojis after riots. Hopkins looked at him and said, "Why bother leading a party when you're allergic to opinions?" But it's not just the policies, it's the energy. Starmer gives off strong substitute teacher vibes, overly serious, trying too hard to be liked, armed with a clipboard and zero charisma. Hopkins roasted him so hard, he might need SPF 300 just to open the Daily Mail. Meanwhile, Angela Rayner talks like she's leading a revolution, but votes like she's protecting a committee seat, building an entire brand around speaking for the people, while treating every interview like a TikTok audition for who can shout Tories bad the loudest. Katie Hopkins called her out faster than Angela could reapply her lip gloss.
It's Keir here. My director of strategy, who's a right ginger, has said that I should explain our new policy on migration very simply. So before, we loved illegals. We couldn't get enough of illegals. Illegals, come, welcome. I helped bring them in. I put them in hotels. I also love a Rwandan. I love me a stubby Rwandan. In fact, I love all illegals because they are the ones that vote for us. So if you go to any of them...
Let's talk about their dynamic, or better yet, their tragic sitcom spin-off no one asked for, but somehow got renewed by mistake. Keir Starmer and Angela Rayner are the political equivalent of a malfunctioning GPs. One keeps rerouting, the other keeps shouting turn left. Into a wall. Starmer is the uptight dad trying to hold a dinner party during a house fire, while Rayner is the rebellious teenager blasting punk rock in the background. Neither knows where the car keys are, but they'll definitely blame each other for losing them. Katie Hopkins didn't just highlight the dysfunction, she practically made it a stage play. Labour, once a party with working-class backbone and purpose, has turned into performance art with questionable lighting, bold, unapologetic passion replaced by cosplay theatre. Starmer struts around in an off-the-rack Prime Minister suit like he bought it from the manager in training section at Debenhams, while Rayner channels rebellious icon energy with the political depth of a slogan on a coffee mug.
He's decided that we can pay for this. We're going to pay for the privilege of once again being ruled in many ways by Brussels. We're going to be coughing up to the EU budgets. It's absolutely absurd. It goes against what he said. He's turning this country once again into the orange ball chewing leather trust gimp, if I've got the right word.
Well, going back to...
Katie Hopkins went after them like a predator loose in a paper zoo. Starmer's so-called forensic approach is like watching beige wallpaper give a TED talk. His speeches have the emotional range of a breadstick. You expect insight, but get long-winded disclaimers with enough filler to power a wind turbine. Every time he opens his mouth, you can feel a nation collectively reaching for the remote. Then there's Angela Rayner, whose contribution to political dialogue swings wildly between impassioned yelling and tantrum-like walkouts. It's less Che Guevara and more like Che Guevara's confused cousin, who once skimmed a communist manifesto while waiting for a hair appointment. She delivers speeches as if she just discovered the word oppression and plans to cram it into every sentence, no matter the context.
Here, I've had a thought that fixes a lot of your problems. So, you're looking to put boots on the ground in Ukraine, specifically Kyiv. I thought, why don't you get all the people that had a Ukraine flag on their social media profile? Obviously, they had to take down their NHS one and their LGBTQ one to put up the Ukraine one. But those people, and the people who took in a Ukrainian into their homes like a little pet, you know, just for Christmas. The people that are like, oh yeah, we've got one. Yeah, we've got a Ukrainian family. Yeah. We've got a Ukrainian family. Yeah, because we're a better kind of person. Yeah, it's just who we are. Maybe they should be the ones that put boots on the ground.
And let's not forget Katie Hopkins' sharpest observation. They're too busy bickering inside the house to notice the neighbourhood's on fire. Starmer is decluttering Labour like it's a married condo documentary. Except joy never existed in the first place. And Rayner changes political stances faster than a DJ switching tracks at a wedding. Together, they're less a leadership team and more a tragic reboot of the thick of it. Minus the wit, charm or plot, the political equivalent of decaf coffee, all motion, zero impact. Hopkins didn't hold back. She said what the country was thinking. If these two are the future of Labour, I'm investing in canned goods.
My name is Keir Starmer, and I'm here to fuck the foundations. When I became your Prime Minister, not only did I get new hair and glasses provided by a donor who now has full access to 10 Downing Street and my bedroom, we were promised three things. Number one, we would be fully costed and fully funded. We're so fully funded and fully costed, we're essentially just like Katie Price, or HS2, or the public sector in Argentina pre-Milei, depending on your sense of humour. In order to make the £22 billion hole in the budget even worse, we have spunked a whole bunch of cash at train drivers and junior doctors. This guarantees two things. Number one, they will vote Labour. Number two, nurses and teachers will be on strike again.
Starmer has an uncanny ability to make inspiration sound like a compliance seminar, rebranding Labour with all the excitement of a microwave instruction manual. Katie Hopkins called him the human version of a tax return, necessary, boring, and guaranteed to ruin your day. Rayner, who claims to be the voice of the working class, is so performative you'd think she's trapped in a political version of Love Island. She's passionate, sure, but about what exactly? Today it's education, tomorrow it's trade unions, and the day after it's whatever will get her trending on X.
Political chameleons are crawling out from under their rocks, aren't they? The Prime Minister told you he gets it, which, as far as I can tell, means copying reform. Keir Starmer finished his muesli this morning and fired off a tweet using the language of his turquoise rivals. He said, "The Tories lost control of our borders and let net migration soar to record levels, undercutting hard-working Brits. I won't stand for it. I promised to restore control and cut migration, and I'm delivering with tough new measures." Well, I saw that tweet and it made me think of this.
Ooh, you're hard, showing off.
Katie Hopkins zeroed in on the one thing they lack more than leadership: authenticity. Keir Starmer's entire persona is a risk-managed hologram designed to offend no one and inspire even fewer, while Angela Rayner is pure theatre, sound bites over strategy, drama over delivery. Hopkins said it best: they're like a band with no music, just fancy posters and an overpriced merch table, and don't even get started on their record. Under their watch, Labour has lost traditional voters, alienated youth, and confused the middle class. That's not strategy, it's sabotage with extra steps. Hopkins pointed out their biggest accomplishment so far is making people nostalgic for Ed Miliband. Starmer can't even commit to a protest without looking terrified someone might photograph him feeling an emotion, while Rayner runs toward protest like it's sponsored by Adidas and anger. It's like watching an awkward dad and his chaotic niece trying to win over a pub crowd with karaoke.
Aren't keen to carry into this week, which is the story of the non-English speaking Ukrainian bum boy that set fire to Keir Starmer's apartment, his home, his old car and all sorts of other things. Rumour has it the bad boy was recommended to Keir by Zelensky, who'd used him often and found his services to be very enjoyable.
Katie Hopkins didn't just mock their policies, she decimated their aura. Keir Starmer's idea of bold leadership is releasing a PowerPoint with mild suggestions and hoping no one notices it contradicts everything he said last week, while Angela Rayner's idea of statesmanship is tweeting like she's in a rap battle with the ghost of Margaret Thatcher. Their media presence is equally tragic. Starmer answers interviews like he's on trial for crimes against charisma, and Rayner treats every question as a personal insult, usually aimed at the interviewer's hairstyle. Hopkins tore into their inability to communicate like functional humans, let alone leaders, pointing out you'd get more decisive answers from a magic 8 ball.